Welcome back. Here we are with the second session of chapter optics. In first lecture, we discuss about n number of things related to optics and its applications. The last point was discussed. It's a total internal reflection and its applications. Today we are going to discuss about some derivations, and in that these are points which we are going to start right now. That is refraction of a single spherical surface, Lensmaker's equation, dispersion, prism formula, angular dispersion, mean deviation and natural phenomenon due to sunlight. Let's start one by one. Here, refraction at a single spherical surface. Look at this diagram. We are going to consider spherical surface over here, y, p, y dash. The radius of curvature of this surface is capital R. This surface divides transparent media into two parts. One is with refractive index mu1 and another one is refractive index mu2. Now, P is the pole point and x dash px is the principal axis. Object is O, which placed at distance u, but it is towards left side, so object distance will be minus u from pole point. Convexity or concavity of a surface is always with respect to the incident rays, with respect to the real object. Hence, in this case, surface is convex surface. Now, to locate its image, what we are going to do, we are going to consider two parallaxial rays. First ray is the ray OP, which is directly moving towards point P to X, that is OP and PX without deviation ये पास कर रहा है. सेकेंड रे हमने कंसिडर किया है OA स्ट्राइक कर रहा है एट पॉइंट A पे. नाउ CAN can be the normal and from center of curvature C of the surface at A, we are going to consider the angle of incidence, that is OAN, angle of incidence I, which is there in first media, which is having refractive index mu1. Now mu1 is less than mu2. The ray deviates towards the normal and travel along AZ. Now travel along AZ and real image obtained at point I. This ray cuts the principal axis at this point I. Angle of refraction is angle R. Now according to Snell's law, we know that mu1 and mu2 is given by, that is a mu2 upon mu1 is given by sin I upon sin R. So mu1 sin I is equal to mu2 sin R. Now you can see it over here, angle alpha, angle beta and angle gamma. We can write that here alpha and beta ये इस triangle में है and I is like the exterior angle for it. So I can write alpha plus beta is equal to I. Correct है? Right. And the second one, यहाँ पे देख लीजिए ये gamma and ये R, beta is exterior for them. So we can write R plus gamma is equal to beta. So according to that, R will be beta minus gamma. Now for paraxial rays, all these angles are small. Therefore, instead of sin I, we can take only I, and instead of sin R, we are going to take R. So equation becomes mu1 sin I is equal to mu2 sin R की जगह mu1 I is equal to mu2 R. हमें यहाँ पे वैल्यू मिल गया है I का और R का. Now we are going to find out alpha, beta and gamma. Now alpha, arc AP upon this OP. So arc AP upon OP, OP का value है minus U. So alpha will become arc AP upon minus U. Now for beta, arc AP upon PC, but PC is equal to radius of curvature, that is plus R. So arc AP upon R, and gamma is equal to arc AP upon PI, but PI is plus V, so gamma is equal to arc AP upon plus V. Now we have equation mu1 I is equal to mu2 R. Value of I is alpha plus beta. Value of R is beta minus gamma. Let's substitute that values. Mu1 alpha plus beta is equal to mu2 beta minus gamma. Now mu1 alpha plus mu1 beta is equal to mu2 beta minus mu1 gamma. ये जो टर्म है ये एक साइड कर दीजिए. mu2 beta minus mu1 beta is equal to mu1 beta mu1 alpha plus mu2 gamma. So beta common आ जाएगा. Remaining part mu2 minus mu1 into beta is equal to mu2 gamma plus mu1 alpha. So you can write substituting values of alpha, beta and gamma and cancelling arc AP. In place of beta we can substitute 1 upon R. In place of gamma we can substitute 1 upon V. In place of alpha we will substitute 1 upon minus u. So this term will become mu2 minus mu1 upon R is equal to mu2 upon V minus mu1 upon u. This equation is known as the equation for diffraction at a single spherical surface. Just go through that within a minute. Moving towards next point, there are few conditions for that. These conditions are not there in your textbook, but for numerical form it's very important. Go through that. Refraction at convex surface. First step, from rarer medium to denser medium. Equation is mu1 upon minus u plus mu2 upon v is equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon r, जो अभी हमने देखा था. The refraction at concave surface becomes mu1 upon minus u plus mu2 upon v is equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon r. It is same. Note down कर लेना please. Expression for object in rarer medium is same for whether it is real or virtual image or convex or concave. जो अभी हमने देखा कि दोनों के इक्वेशन सेम थे. The given value is over here. But if object is in denser medium, is same for whether it is real or virtual or convex or concave. That is mu2 upon minus u plus mu1 upon v is equal to mu1 minus mu2 upon r. And we are going to take proper Cartesian sign convention over here for values of mu, v and r. And if we exchange the values of mu1 and mu2 or interchange, there is a change in expression or value. Next point which we are going to discuss is Lensmaker's equation. In this we are going to find out relation between refractive index, focal length and radii of curvature for a thin lens. We are going to consider a lens of radii of curvatures R1 and R2 kept in a medium such that mu1 is refractive index of material of lens with respect to outside medium. हमने mu consider कर लिया. After that we are going to consider the lens is very thin. P is the pole point over here, common pole point हम लोग consider करने वाले हैं उसको. After that here we are going to consider C for that. Then O is a point object on the principal axis at a distance u. You can see it from here, from point C. Then first refracting surface of the lens of radius of curvature R1 faces the object. Axial ray OP1 travels undeviated. Paraxial ray OA deviates towards the normal and would intersect axis at point I1 in the absence of second refracting surface. Now you can say Ci is equal to V, and Ci1 we are going to consider as a V1. Now for the refraction at, you can see it over here, LP1N1, we can write mu1 upon CO. From this equation we are going to write everything. Mu1 upon CO plus mu2 upon Ci1 is equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon Cc1. Look at here, object distance is OC over here, image distance is Ci1 over here, and radii of curvature is Cc1 for the first refraction at LP1N1. Now for LP2N2 we can write, अब ये सब पॉजिटिव आया क्योंकि ये टूवर्ड्स राइट साइड था. नाउ फॉर LP2N, mu2 upon minus Ci1 plus mu1 upon Ci is equal to minus mu1 minus mu2 upon Cc2. Now comparing the refractions at both surfaces, we can write mu1 upon CO plus mu1 upon Ci is equal to mu2 minus mu1 into bracket 1 upon Cc1 plus 1 upon Cc2. Now you can see CO is U, Ci is V, Cc1 is R1, Cc2 is R2. So after substituting these values in the one equation, we'll get 1 upon minus U plus 1 upon V is equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon mu1, 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2. Now we know that if we consider mu2 upon mu1 is normal refractive index mu, equation becomes 1 upon minus U plus 1 upon V is equal to, in place of mu2 upon mu1 we are going to substitute mu. So mu2 upon mu1 minus 1 into bracket 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2, or in place of this you can substitute mu. Equation becomes 1 upon minus U plus 1 upon V is equal to mu minus 1 into bracket 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2 as it is. Now when object is kept at infinity, the image is formed at principal focus. So infinity का मतलब है object distance is minus infinity and image distance is focal length. So here 1 upon infinity plus 1 upon f is equal to mu minus 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2. So equation finally becomes 1 upon f is equal to mu minus 1 into bracket 1 upon R1 minus 1 upon R2. This equation is called as Lensmaker's formula, or according to this we can say 1 upon minus U plus 1 upon V is equal to 1 upon f, which is for spherical mirrors. Just go to that once. I'll keep it open for a minute. The next concept which is there is dispersion of white light through prism. Now we all know the concept of dispersion, the basic concept of dispersion. The phenomenon of splitting of a ray of white light into its 7 constituent colors is called dispersion. Now the color of light that we see depends upon the frequency of that ray or wave. The refractive index of a material also depends upon the frequency and increases with it. Refractive index of light is different for different colors. As a result, for an incident ray, the angles of refractions are different for each color and they separate as they travel along different directions. Generally, we consider this phenomenon as angular dispersion. But when a polychromatic beam of light, that is bundle of rays, is incident upon the parallel transparent slab or a prism, the white light separate out and separated in its 7 constituent colors. We called it as a dispersion of light. The cause of dispersion is different refractive indices. That is, for mu r, mu v, there are different values of refractive index as well as wavelength. Mu v is greater than mu r, but rr is greater than rv. So the colors are refracted at different angles and hence they get separated. इसका वेवलेंथ अलग अलग है, वी आई बी जी वाई, और जैसे जैसे आप जाते हो रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स ऑफ वी इज much greater than refractive index of R, but at the same time angle of refraction for R is greater than angle of refraction for V. When we consider appreciable and observable dispersion, two parallel surfaces are not useful. In such cases, we are going to use prisms, in which two refracting surfaces inclined at an angle are used. At a time, two of these are taking part in the refraction. The one not involved in refraction is called base of the prism. Any section of the prism perpendicular to the base is called principal section. आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो, प्रिज्म है, रिफ्रैक्टिंग सरफेसेस है, ये बेस सेक्शन है और प्रिंसिपल सेक्शन है. नाउ the line joining the angle joining to that both refracting surfaces is angle of prism or refracting angle. समझ में आया, राइट? उसके बाद हम लोग कंसिडर करने जा रहे हैं रिलेशन बिटवीन एंगल्स इन्वॉल्व्ड. That is, we are going to consider about refraction of light through prism or prism formula. Now look at this diagram. It's a quadrilateral APOQ, APOQ. In this, you can say that opposite having summation 180 degree. ये हमें पता है. So A plus O is equal to 180 degree. Right? N1 and N2 both are normal. Now triangle OPQ, OPQ. तीन एंगल मिलके 180 डिग्री होता है. सो यू कैन राइट R1 प्लस R2 प्लस O इज 180 डिग्री. इन ट्रायंगल DPQ अगेन यू कैन राइट DPQ. अब देखो ये 90 डिग्री है. इफ दिस इज R1, रिमेनिंग पार्ट इज 90 माइनस R1. इफ दिस इज R2, देन रिमेनिंग पार्ट इज 90 माइनस R2. और इन प्लेस ऑफ दैट यू कैन से दिस इज I, दिस होल इज I, so remaining part is I plus R1. If this is E, opposite angle, this whole is E. So remaining part is E minus R2. So in triangle DPQ, we can say that this I minus R1 and this E minus R2, for them delta is like an exterior angle. Therefore, I minus R1 plus E minus R2 is equal to delta. Now, delta is equal to I plus E minus R1 plus R2. Now, we know that when we compare these both equations, A plus O is equal to R1 plus R2 plus O. 180, 180 already cancelled. O now cancelled. So, A becomes R1 plus R2. So, in place of R1 plus R2, we can substitute A. So, delta become I plus E minus A. Therefore, we can write I plus E is equal to A plus delta. That is, sum of angle of incidence and angle of emergence is equal to the sum of angle of prism and angle of deviation. Just check once. Move towards next point. We are going to discuss about variation of angle of deviation with angle of incidence. Now we know that when angle of incidence increases, the angle of deviation decreases. At a particular value of angle of incidence, the angle of deviation becomes minimum, and that angle is called as angle of minimum deviation. Therefore, we consider it as a delta M. Now for delta m, I becomes equal with E and R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R. After minimum deviation, angle of deviation increases with angle of incidence. पहले देखो क्या हो रहा है, एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस इंक्रीजेस, डेविएशन डिक्रीजेस. मिनिमम डेविएशन होने के बाद वापस क्या हो रहा है, एंगल ऑफ डेविएशन स्टार्ट इंक्रीजिंग विद द एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस. Now we know that A is equal to R1 plus R2. Here we are considering R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R. So A will become R plus R, that is 2R. So value of R will be A by 2. Now I plus E is equal to A plus delta. Here we considered I is equal to E. So I plus E की जगह हम लोग I plus I is equal to A plus, here it is angle of minimum deviation. So in place of delta we are using delta m. So 2I is equal to A plus delta m. I will become A plus delta m divided by 2. Now according to Snell's law, mu is equal to sin I upon sin R. We have value of I, that is A plus delta m by 2. We have value of R, that is A by 2. Substitute these both values in given equation. Mu will become sin of A plus delta m divided by 2 whole divided by sin of A by 2. This equation is considered as Prism formula. इस पूरे इक्वेशन को बोलते हैं प्रिज्म फॉर्मूला. Go through that. Now, here refraction by a small angle prism for a small angle of incidence. That is, we are going to discuss about thin prisms. Prisms having refracting angle less than 10 degree are called thin prisms. For such prisms, we generally use, instead of sin theta is equal to, we are using theta. For such prisms to deviate the incident ray towards the base during both refractions, it is essential that I should also be less than 10 degree so that all other angles will also be small. यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या करने वाले हैं, mu is equal to sin I upon R1 and mu is equal to sin E upon sin R2. If I is assumed to be small, then R1, R2 and E सब हमें क्या कंसीडर करना पड़ेगा, they are also very small. Replacing signs of the angles by angles themselves, we get mu is equal to I upon R1 and mu is equal to E upon R2. So we know I plus E is equal to A plus delta. Now here we are going to consider I plus E is equal to mu into R1 plus R2, that is mu into A. But we know that I plus E is equal to A plus delta. I plus E हो गया mu A. So A plus delta is equal to mu A. Delta is equal to mu A minus A. So it is A into mu minus 1. Where A and mu are constants for given prism. So for a thin prism, for small angles of incidences, angle of deviation is always constant. Dispersion can also be explained on the basis of Cauchy's equation. That is, mu is equal to A plus B upon lambda square plus C upon lambda raised to 4. This is not there in your textbook, बस आपके लिए बता के रख रही हूँ. Where we can consider A, B and C are constants for the material. Now we know that delta V and delta R का relation हमें पता है. So according to that, lambda V and lambda R we can write. Lambda V is less than lambda R and mu V is greater than mu R. But we have equation delta is equal to A mu minus 1. Therefore, delta V is greater than delta R. So, the colors get separated with different angles of deviation. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? Violet is most deviated and red is least deviated color. What is angular dispersion? The difference in the deviation suffered by two colors in passing through a prism gives the angular dispersion for those colors. The angle between the emergent rays of any two colors is called angular dispersion between those colors. It is the rate of change of angle of deviation with wavelength. Phi is equal to d delta upon d lambda. Phi is equal to delta v minus delta r, or phi is equal to mu v minus mu r into A. What is dispersive power? The dispersive power of the material of the prism for any two colors is defined as the ratio of the angular separation or dispersion for those two colors to the mean deviation produced by the prism. We can say omega is equal to phi upon delta. Delta is mean deviation and given by delta v plus delta r divided by 2. Omega is delta v minus delta r upon delta, or you can write omega as mu v minus mu r upon into A divided by mu y minus 1 into A. There are few changes in your textbook. Go through both. Omega is the ratio of same physical quantities, so it is unitless and dimensionless quantity. From the expression in terms of the refractive indices, it should be understood that dispersive power depends upon refractive index and not upon the dimensions of prism. What is scattering of light? Blue color of the sky and reddish appearance of the sun at sunrise and sunset. ये कुछ natural phenomenon है जो अभी हमें discuss करने हैं. Why it looks like that? The molecules of the atmosphere and other particles that are smaller than the longest wavelength of visible light are more effective in scattering light of shorter wavelengths than light of longer wavelengths. The amount of scattering is inversely proportional to the fourth power of wavelength. Rayleigh's effect से ये हमने prove किया हुआ है. Light from the sun near the horizon passes through a greater distance in the Earth's atmosphere than does the light received when the sun is overhead. The correspondingly greater scattering of short wavelengths accounts for the reddish appearance of the sun at rising and at setting. When looking at a sky in the direction away from the sun, we receive scattered sunlight in which short wavelengths predominate, giving the sky its characteristic bluish color. The second thing is we are talking about mirage. On the hot, color clear sunny day, along a level road, a pond of water appears to be there ahead. If you physically reach the spot, there is nothing but dry road and water pond again appears ahead. This illusion is called as mirage. On a hot day, the air in contact with the road is hottest, and as we go up, it gets gradually cooler. The refractive index of air thus increases with height. In this figure, यहाँ पे आप लोग देख सकते हो. In this figure, due to this gradual change in the refractive index, the ray of light coming from the top of an object becomes more and more horizontal as it almost touches the road. For same reason, it bends above. Then onwards, upward bending continues due to a denser air. As a result, for an observer, it appears to be coming from below, thereby giving an illusion of reflection from an water surface. यहाँ पे देखो क्या होता है, हम लोग कभी कभी चल रहे होते हैं, हमें लगता है सामने वेट एरिया है, वहाँ पे ऑयल है, बस हम पास जाके देखते हैं तो कुछ नहीं होता है. कभी कभी हमें लगता है कि वहाँ पे ऑयली सरफेस बना हुआ है, हम पास जाके देखते हैं कुछ नहीं होता है. दिस इज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ दिस टोटल इंटरनल रिफ्लेक्शन एज वेल एज दिस मिराज फॉर्म. यहाँ पे हमें बस लगता है वो इमेजिनरी इल्यूजन बन जाता है विच इज नॉट देयर एक्चुअली. नाउ रेनबो, यहाँ पे हमें बस पता होता है कि एक प्राइमरी रेनबो, एक सेकेंडरी, एक प्राइमरी रेनबो हमें बस पता होता है, बट देयर इज वन मोर रेनबो कॉल्ड सेकेंडरी रेनबो ऑल्सो. Let's start some discussion regarding that. Rainbow is an eye-catching phenomenon occurring due to the rains and sunlight. It is most popular because of it is observable from anywhere from Earth. Now, ऑप्टिकल फिनोमिनॉन डिस्कस टिल नाउ आर सफिशिएंट टू एक्सप्लेन द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ रेनबो. कैसे फॉर्म होता है? It is seen during rains and on the opposite side of the sun. It is seen only during mornings and evenings and not throughout the day. In the commonly seen rainbow, red arch is outside and violet is inside. In the rarely occurring concentric secondary rainbow, violet arch is outside and red is inside. It is in the form of arc of the circle. Complete circle can be seen from a higher altitude. So you can see it only from aeroplane mode or aeroplane. Now, conditions which are required, that is optical phenomenon involved. During the formation of the rainbow, the rays of sunlight incident on water drops deviate and disperse during refraction. Internally reflect once or twice and finally refract again into air. At all stages there is angular dispersion which leads to color separation of the colors. There are two phenomenons, one is primary rainbow and one is secondary rainbow. Formation of a primary rainbow due to a spherical water drop, and for secondary rainbow when a sunlight falls on raindrops such that there are two refractions and two internal reflections. Then secondary rainbow is also seen along with the primary rainbow. In secondary rainbow, the violet color is deviated more than the red color. Rest all part, this part is actually eliminated for this year from your syllabus, but important as the applications, as the application of, you can say, some natural phenomenon due to the sunlight. We discussed about reddish and bluish color of the sky. We had discussed about mirage and we just now discussed about rainbows. So this is all about for today. In next lecture, finally we are going to discuss about optical instruments, defect of lenses and how to minimize that all things. We are going to discuss about telescopes and microscopes too. So I'll stop here for today. I hope you understood everything. Thank you.